First question: why Spurs? How did you become a Spurs fan?
My old man was a Spurs supporter. So I was born in '82 and team of the '80s. So my very naive younger years, I was a Liverpool fan because obviously that was a team of the '80s. And then '91 on the 14th of April 1991, I sat and watched a specific football match with my old man, and a certain Paul Gascoigne decided that he was going to have a crack.
He is, you know.
And he put it in past a flailing David Seaman, and I got caught up with it with the passion of my old fella, and I've been a Spurs fan ever since.
Brilliant. Do you remember your first Spurs game? Do you remember the score and the score run?
Yeah,
in the stand.
I was at Elland Road, my first Tottenham game, and it was 3-1. It was a 3-1. It was the one where Anderton scored that screamer. Nice. I think Armstrong scored the other one. I think Armstrong scored twice and Anderton scored the screamer. He scored twice and Armstrong got the other. But yeah, I was sat behind the goal at Elland Road on my first ever Tottenham game.
There's a fella 2 rows behind us last night who he was sure was Chris Armstrong, but then Gazza said, didn't he get sent down for possession of some kind of drugs recently, didn't he? I'm sure he did. It was in the papers a few weeks ago. But it looked like, because he's got the dreads now, and he, Chris Armstrong, he's got the big dreads.
He's got the mole on the end of his nose, which he.
Yeah.
Then that's it. Yeah. My granddad always used to take the mickey out of him. He was old school Yorkshireman. Enough said. You know what I mean? But yeah, it got for a header every eye. Probably put it in with that mole on end of nose. Yeah, lucky bugger. If it wasn't for that mole on end of nose, if he never scored that. Yeah, I cheers, granddad. He was a big Forest fan, so you know.
Oh, he was Forest.
Yeah, through Cloughie and all that. So yeah.
Well, we've been talking about Clough.
It was actually what's it called? Not if it's the game in '96.
Yes,
it was Anderton that scored twice and Armstrong scored twice. Yeah.
I'll be honest. All I remember most of it is standing against the side of the pitch, shouting at Teddy Sheringham to try and get an autograph, and him looking at me and my sister like we were fucking dickheads. And yeah, I was there, my old man, my mum, my sister, and we literally got picked up from school, and it was like, what are you two doing here? You know, because normally we walked to the bus. So we're going to go.
That was my 18th birthday.
Yeah, so we ended up going. So we got tickets to go see, because my mum's a whole girl, so she was a Leeds fan. Obviously, so she got shit on the way home. But yeah, we went, and it was. I'll be honest with you. The reason I always get confused between 2 for Anderton and 1 for Armstrong is I just remember the goal from Anderton. It was just absolute peach, you know, and it was a hell of a game to be there live. You know, to see your first Tottenham game, especially at Elland Road, because I don't know if you guys have been to Elland Road, but even I can remember the atmosphere, the Leeds fans. You know, they say Newcastle's a trip, but you know, Elland Road's a smaller ground, but they're just as passionate because it's so tight as well. You can almost feel them breathing on you. You know, the hairs on the back of the neck, and it's just Elland Road is a fantastic place to go for my first game, and yeah, to get the 3 points out of it was even better.
Awesome.
Would you guys like to hear the full lineup?
Go on. Yes, let's have a blast from the past. Who played?
So in goal was what's it called? Curtains guy.
Ian Walker.
Ian Walker. Yeah. Then we had the scum of the earth in the thing, along with the other Gary Mabbutt, Clive Wilson.
Yeah.
And Justin Edinburgh made up the defence.
Christ.
Then we had Anderton, Jason Dazelle.
Oh, I used to hate Jason Dazelle.
David Howells, and Armstrong and Teddy up front. And the weirdest thing is, every single one of our players in that lineup, were English.
Wow, all English, blimey! I bet that's probably one of the last times, I imagine.
Probably, yeah.
My granddad's a Leeds fan, and my nan comes from Hull as well, Gareth. So even more in common. You live in the same neck of the woods as my cousins. And
what part of Hull?
Bridlington.
So
just on the coast, yeah.
Yeah, so you got Brid. My mum, they were West Hull. So when it comes to rugby, black and whites rather than the red and whites. So yeah, and then Hull City. But back in those days, they were 3rd division when I used to go and see them play. So Dean Windus and all that.
Yeah, my old man follows Hull now. He was Tottenham, but he's, trying to go back to his roots as he's getting older. So he's decided he's going to follow Hull City now. So it's a long story.
Then so he was it. It's now the MKM Stadium. It used to be KC Stadium, didn't it?
Yeah, they've got new owners. They've got new owners recently.
Yeah,
right.
They sacked their old manager just because he wasn't because he wasn't
their guy.
Yeah.
I've been
been
up there as well. I've been up to the stadium. We had a works meeting there once.
Oh yeah,
someone from it's the rugby league stadium. So
it's the same. So the Hull FC and Hull City share the same stadium. When they opened it, they oversubscribed the seats. But when they opened it, they didn't open it for football. They opened it with Hull FC versus Hull Kingston Rovers, and I was there for the opening game. And
nice.
It's a brilliant stadium, absolutely lovely stadium. But mate, people were sat on the steps, and the people were like, Stuart, go to your seats, go to your seats. When he sat in my seat, show me your ticket. Here's the ticket. Show me your ticket. Just try and stay out of the concourse, mate.
Yeah. Funnily,
shoot the bastard. What I used to think to the whole KR lot, it was, you know what? It's probably one of the best sporting atmospheres I've ever been to. It's a whole derby at the new stadium when they opened it up. Absolutely brilliant atmosphere.
Rugby's done a lot for football. Like our local club, Wickham, they've got one decent stand because the rugby club were there. Was it Wasps, Nick? It was there for a year. So Wasps built.
It was before they had that stand before when they went up from the conference into League 2 and League 1 before. They built it before, but they only ever used to sell it out when Wasps were playing.
But they put all the executive boxes in when Wasps were there. I know that much. Yeah.
To be fair, I think the stadium was built for Hull FC primarily. I think if I remember rightly, I could be way off point, but if it wasn't for Buffry Park literally being stuck together by spit, piss, rust, and chewing gum,
and toot piss.
That's it. Right. Get to stand, love. Got a splinter in your eye. Start the game. Go on, enjoy it. It's all right.
Yeah. Where's my fucking Bovril?
I threw a cup of Bovril over some prickage or a sweep. I was about 13. Played this game of football before the game. I walked along and some little prick decided he was going to be clever. Threw a sweet, landed in my Bovril because I used to be sponsored by somebody who was sweets. All the kids got this little bag of boiled sweets before the game, and I went, oh.
That's a good idea.
Chest over his coat.
I went to watch Wycombe Wanderers in the week, and my mate got a Bovril, and there's a girl behind the bar with the guy that served it, and she's like, "Bovril, what's Bovril?" So we're like, basically, it's like gravy, love. It's like having a cup of gravy, kind of thing. And the bloke goes, "Oh, there was uproar a few years ago because Wycombe got rid of Bovril from their menu, and there was a petition to bring it back onto the menu."
Mate,
you got to Bovril at football.
What's Bovril? Have you ever swallowed spunk? Yeah, well, it's hotter and saltier. That's all it is.
Or it tastes like gravy for the kids out there, on the polite version.
We're past the 10-minute mark. It's gone 7:30. Those little fuckers should be in bed. Only water.
Next question. Do you remember your first Spurs shirt? And did you have a name and number on the back?
It was the purple Holston shirt.
Oh, I love that shirt.
18.
Klinsmann 18. Was he your first hero? Was he your first hero?
No, Gazza. I love Klinsmann. Gazza was my hero. He was what got me to support Spurs. I just loved the whole way he was. I went to tell you a funny story about Gazza. I've got a picture of Gazza kissing me on the lips. My Gazza kissed me full off, and then on the cheek. But we went to somewhere up in Norfolk. But me and my missus went to a Legends night. And it was a Gazza Legends night. Absolutely brilliant. So we did the old VIP bit because we wanted the picture, wanted to meet him, and everything else. And my missus bent over, and Gazza went, grabbed her up. Right? My missus, by the time she told my missus to jump up and turn around and look at me, Gazza had turned around and gone. She's looking at it, and he's waiting again, and my missus is looking at me going, I went,
what do I do? Yeah.
Just like, why did you tell me to do that? I was like, Paul fucking Gascoigne. Do you know what I mean? Paul Gascoigne's kissed me square on the lips. He's grabbed your ass. That's it, love. We're done. That's it. We go home.
Yeah, we've done what we came to do.
It was. So, but Gazza is my Tottenham hero. He has been. But then I've had lots of players that I've loved watching through the years as well, which is Klinsmann's one of them. David Ginola is also, Van der Vaart. There's always that one player, don't you, as sort of things freshen up. But yeah, for me, it all started with Gazza, and then I never got to see him playing a Tottenham shirt until the Legends game that they did at the new stadium, Tottenham Stadium. But
he done his calf, didn't he, in the warm up or something? So he's like hobbling on, but he still had a few good touches.
Still had a go. But then but luckily I lived in Naples for 3 years in the early 90s. So luckily I got to see him play for Lazio against Napoli.
Awesome.
So I got to see him play football. It wasn't until the Legends game that I got to see him play in a Spurs shirt.
I was at that Oxford game in the FA Cup run when they won 4-2 and he scored 2 goals. So I got to see him. He was brilliant. We arrived there early, Gareth. My mum was a stickler for getting there early. So when we got to the ground, we went to collect our tickets, and he was in the bloody ticket office pissing around with the ticket office staff. So he went into the ground. We were buzzing because we'd just seen Gazza in the ticket office. He spoke. He was like, "All right, boys," like waving and stuff, pissing around. So he went early into the stadium. No one else in there because we went. My mum getting there 3 hours ahead of kickoff. Make sure we get there okay and we can get parts and stuff.
Good
so
seats.
Find out where the seats are. So there's no one in there. So we got to walk all the way along. I think we're where Res sits now, in the West Stand, in the old Prawn Sandwich Brigade. But we're only about 4 or 5 rows back. So we walked down there, looked down the tunnel. Me and my mate Ali were like, "Fucking Gazza was there again." We're like, Gazza. Looked up, waved at us. "All right, boys." So we had like 2 moments with Gazza. We were absolutely buzzing. And then he scored 2 goals that day. It's one of his famous games in the FA Cup run at home. Lineker scored as well. Did Lineker get 2? Can't think he got the other goal. Gazza got 2 anyway. Two really good goals and awesome. So got to see him play at his pomp in the FA Cup run that day.
Yes, that game. I remember at that we played for Lazio. That was one of my. Italian football is a different animal. If you ever go to Italy, try and catch a game. It's like me and the wife went to Barcelona just before COVID, caught a game, and actually it was against is it Real Betis who Lo Celso was at? Yeah. It was Barcelona, Real Betis, and Real Betis took the lead. And Lo Celso, in this watched Lo Celso, I thought he was spot on. He was a lot better there than he was for us. But then Barcelona ended up winning it. But it was the Bernabeu is absolutely unreal. Have you guys ever been?
It's a bit sheer, isn't it? At the top, if you sat at the top, like you have a nosebleed.
It's the thing. I booked tickets here in England, not knowing. I was just happy to have 2 tickets to go watch Barcelona play while we was over there for a long weekend. But you're right. It's like this. But the problem because you get as high as you are, you literally are like, "My God, they're playing football. Happy days." But you look straight up and you got the sunset and the scenery. So you kind of it's like best of both worlds. You get to see this great view of Barcelona whilst being able to watch some of the greatest players who've ever graced a football pitch. They
sell like 1% beer in there or something as well, don't they? You're allowed to drink at your seat, but it's only like 1 or 2% beer.
I'm not a drinker, to be fair, mate.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like about it is I didn't go and check, but if you was right at the top, I'd hate to think if you was over exuberant in your celebration that you would be over the side. Yeah.
Jesus. Speaking of which, it's seamless link actually. Your favourite away days? Have you got any funny stories about going with Tottenham away anywhere?
To be fair, the only away game I've been to so far was the Brighton game where Lloris broke his did his elbow.
Yeah.
Me and my mate Ash, who sadly is no longer with us, where we somehow, being one Hotspur members, managed to get ourselves a couple of away tickets. And we went. We had a great time. And it was amazing actually. To be fair, the biggest thing about that is Brighton love their fans, and they actually do a long walk from the stadium. So it's all sacred. It's all like barriered off, but they will walk all the way down out of the stadium, down to where their car park is, and they will stop and sign for as many people as they're able to. It's
really,
even Potter. Yeah, they all came out, and this is one of my bugbears about Tottenham. I think that the way they try to segregate the fans now, unless you're corporate, unless you are, gold plated, prawn sandwich.
Unless Levy's earning from it, yeah.
It's you know. Oh no, I got a 25 game behavioural order at the beginning of the season. Believe it or not, because I found myself in the blue car park, and I knew where I was going. I knew what I was doing, but it's the first time I've been to Tottenham. It's the first time I've been to the stadium without my mate Ash. Now, my mate Ash was a wheelchair user, and he loved autograph hunting. Didn't matter if it was a TV lot, didn't matter who you played for. But obviously, if there was, and we always used to have, let's try and get down the blue car park. Let's try and get down. Anyway, this went in the lift, went down into the blue car park. Doherty came out, got a picture. Harry Kane came out, got a picture. And then you know what it's like. Some twat who wasn't breastfed and bullied at school gets an SIA license.
Willie about that.
They came up and basically said, "Oh, where's your ticket, mate? Oh, he's supposed to be here. Yeah, mate. Oh, where's your ticket? Oh, I've lost it." And then I went, "No, listen, best cop boys, you've caught me." Now, where best part was I was dressed like this, bright orange with black hoodie, not like you could fucking miss me.
Yeah.
So I started walking away. I said, "Listen, boys, fair cop, you've caught me." So I was making my way to the exit. All of a sudden, I heard, "Get a picture of his face. Get a picture of his face." So I went,
"Really?
Yeah, right. Get a picture of his face." I was like that. So this guy, I'm literally 3 foot from the door to take me back to the lift. So this fat little cunt jumps in front of me. Now, bear in mind, I suffer with post-traumatic stress disorder, and I get highly agitated, and I deliberately become a prick, more so than I am day to day. So anyway, he gets in front of me, and I'm like, "Get out of my way, door's there, I'm leaving." "No, you're not." All right, so I turned away, and he put back in front of me, and he fucking chested me. Put my arm out, and then put my arm out, so I went, "Do that again, and I'll fucking hit you." Grabbed me by the arm, fucking yanked up behind my back. Okay, all because they wanted to find out who I was. They wouldn't let me go, even though I was making my way, and I made the complaint to the club. I made a complaint to the club. I got a 25 game behavioural order, which meant I could still go, but I had to behave myself. And he said, "Oh yeah." And when I said about it, I said, "Make sure you watch the whole footage because you'll see I was walking away." So apparently he turned around and went, "Yeah, I deemed him a threat to the players. I'm 3 foot from the exit after you guys have called me out for being there." Yeah. It was just like you bunch of bastards. This guy was just he mustn't have been breastfed as a kid. He was a fucking idiot.
Again, it all comes from Levy because he wants to charge for that, doesn't he? Because you didn't pay for it. That's the reason he's got the needle.
And this is the bit, no, you can't. Yeah, players can't. COVID. But how many times on Twitter do you see, little Shelley, with a Louis Vuitton handbag, pulling out their daddy's Porsche because he's got a corporate box. "I made my notes because I got to meet son." Yeah, great, mate. But what about Joe Public? Do we only have COVID? Because I'm sure those cunts get it and all. Yeah. It's one of my little gripes anyway. I've got a Harry Kane gripe as well. Don't like him.
We've got space on our podcast for ranting.
I'll come to the Harry Kane bit, but as regards my away day, so that's it. Really, to be fair, apart from Ash nearly running himself off the curb in the train station, it took. I managed to hold his electric wheelchair up until four Brighton lads left and helped me getting back up. Scared the shit out of him, but it was one of those where you got to laugh afterwards. And it was and Carrie Brown was with us from Bain Sports. The blonde girl who does the old pitch side reporting for Bain.
Right.
Yeah.
Not bad looking, easy on the eye. I'm on about this. I'm supposed to a couple of pictures, whatever. But so she was walking with us at the time as well.
Did she help you hold the wheelchair up there or not? Or was she like, "No, yes"?
No, I asked her to hold something for me, but she's like, "No, joke. That's purely a joke. I never asked her to hold anything."
If the wife's watching,
No, the wife can hear me. That's fine.
Right.
Safe, but if anyone who knows Carol, don't tweet it going, "Did you hold Maxine at Brighton?" No. But I'm hoping next. So Man City, I'm actually going on my second. So I've only had 3 away days. One was Leeds, my very first game. Brighton with my mate Ash. and I'm taking my son to Man City for his first away day. So,
Nice.
yeah. So as regards away days, I've always been White Hart Lane. Yeah.
Next question: have you been on any European away days? So far, only Jens has been away, I think, hasn't he? Out of everyone, I imagine Mickey Hazard had been away, but I don't know if he got to ask him that question. But
I wonder what his favourite story would be. Well, this time at customs going into Andorra. But yeah, no, it was. I haven't yet, but I'm hoping that season I will be.
As things open up, I suspect we know your answer to this one, but we'll have to ask you anyway. As I wrote it out earlier, it'd be remiss of me not to use it. Favourite all-time Spurs player?
Ian Walker.
Mentioned him earlier. Chris Armstrong's warts on his nose.
That's it, mate. Yeah. The ball boy who gave the ball to Warrior. My favourite.
That quick throwing.
That's it. No, to be fair, I've got a plethora of favourite players. Gazza was the reason I became a Spurs fan, but I'll be honest with you, Jermaine Defoe, Robbie Keane, until he started sulking Berbatov, I thought when those through at the club, they had great. Klinsmann, fantastic. Ginola, but I'll be honest with you, one of my favourites is Gary Mabbutt. What he played through, you see these knobheads now, who, oh my God, I broke a nail, I can't play for 2 weeks, put a plaster on it quick. And you think that he was taking his insulin jabs and, doing everything that he did to have the career he had, I think was absolutely superb, and it's commendable. And it's hard not to like him because of it. And the fact that actually in real life, he's a fucking nice bloke.
Yeah, absolutely top guy, isn't he? Top guy. We're trying to get him on actually, Gareth. Someone requested him the other day, so we've got another special guest in a couple of weeks. But we're trying to get Gary Mabbutt actually. It's been requested by a few people. So I think Alan's reached out to Mickey Hazard to see if he can put us in contact with Gary Mabbutt. So we're going to try and get him on to see if we can get some of his tales on. Favourite current player?
Favourite current player? Well, I can tell you it's not Harry Kane. Not Harry Kane. Hugo Lloris.
Yeah.
Favourite current player. Yeah, just, respect to him for his long service, for dealing with things in the right way. You never hear him in the press. Okay, he had his drink driving incident, which, to be fair, everybody's human, everybody fucks up. But he deals, he deals with things in the right way. He's not got public outcry. Nothing. You never hear, Hugo Lloris isn't happy. Leak this, leak that. You don't. Yeah, we don't know whether the guy's been miserable for the last 18 months or whether he's been happily getting noshed off by the secretary. Legal secretary. We don't know. But bottom line is he handles himself brilliantly. For me, he is by far. And if he was English, I think he would be up there as a role model with Harry Kane. I just think the way he conducts himself, his dedication to the club, his passion that he shows.
He's getting better as well, isn't he, Gareth? Last night, those two chances that we thought they'd scored, and he had no right to save those first two, and we're still 0-0 because of him.
Yeah, he's for me. He's, like I say, if he was English, he would be. We'd still be raving about him. He'd be England #1. He'd be a bigger, better role model, and he'd probably be a bigger poster boy, just for his dead. Just you just the whole way he conducts himself. It's you can't fault the bloke, and hats off to him for it.
And Gareth also, he probably wouldn't be at Spurs.
Yeah, that's Ledley King syndrome, isn't it? Because he only stayed with us because he got injured.
Touching back on Gary Mabbutt, so this comment from Mark Cousins.
For him to reach the top of the professional game there,
absolutely,
it must be a right role model for you.
Lifted the FA Cup and captained one of the a very decent Spurs side.
Yeah.
Did he ever go? I don't think he ever went into management, did he? I don't ever remember him managing anyone. No. Or coaching. Some people just don't like doing it. I remember at the old White Hart Lane, he had his own lounge, the Gary Mabbutt lounge. It used to be we were in the shelf, and up on the left there, he used to have a little lounge up there, the Gary Mabbutt lounge.
It was almost immediate that he became a club ambassador.
Like Ledley got made straight away.
The love for the club, you can't fault that with those guys. Yeah. It's brilliant. Yeah,
it's great.
The weird thing is Ledley's a local boy, but Mabbutt is from Bristol, and and it's happened a lot. I mean, Mickey's from the northeast, you know. Mickey has it. He loves, but it happens with Ozzy. You know, he's from Argentina.
Yeah. But you look at the northeast. You look at Argentina. Wages are a scandal. So you're going to stay in London, aren't you?
From the positive to the negative, I'm afraid, Gareth. A lot of people struggle to answer this one. You flipped on your.
I think he's frozen.
Sorry, bear with me. I'm just. I've got settings on my phone that make my screen go black and white at a certain time, and I don't get disturbed.
Oh yeah.
But obviously, I'm with you, fine gentlemen. So I'm good for now.
Well, you're with Rez.
There we go. Hello,
boys. There we go. Back.
He's talking about you and Johnny, Nick. All right. Yeah. I'm excluded. It's fine. I'm at peace with it. It's fine. It's fine.
A lot of people struggle to answer this one bizarrely. Whoops, not that one. You missed your most disliked all-time Spurs player apart from Arsene Campbell. Is there anyone that you always hated? You always had whether it was there was any good reason behind it or whether just didn't like him.
I don't like Harry Kane. On and off on the pitch, he wears a shirt. But I don't sing his song. And it actually happened after the final game at White Hart Lane that my dislike for Harry. I've told the story a few times in various environments, but he so basically long and short of it was that he everyone was taking their own little pieces of memorabilia from White Hart Lane. Obviously, you know, people walking out with William Hill signs, and I'll show you. I walked out with Gagway upper.
Oh, nice.
So Robbie Keane was outside. Getting into a car, he was getting mobbed, and I was lucky enough to get his autograph. But I got on quite well with some of the stewards at the time. They said, "Listen, we'll let you get past us, but we won't know if you'll get past them. Try your luck." And yeah, I tried my luck, and I made it through the final gate. Then Bele had all the ball boys round him, autographs, photos, you know, chatting. He was being an absolute hero. You know, the professional you believed he was. He wasn't rushing to get on the coach, nothing at all. Harry Kane walks out, all the kids see it. Harry does not even look in their direction to acknowledge them. Gets straight on the coach. I went batshit on Facebook over it. Absolute batshit. And next thing you know, it's the US tour. And you know, the lucky 20 that have been selected to watch the, to be there for the PR opportunity. You know, him standing signing autographs for fans, and I just thought, you know what, you're an absolute cunt. And then every time I've come across him since, I came across him at the England the 1000th England game. He came over and signed a few autographs for England fans it was only because he was out with Jadon Sancho and a couple of others. So I got like a picture. So I met Sancho, met Kane. Met Gareth Southgate. If he was out on his own, I don't believe he would have come over. And then the day I got banned, some guy from corporate with his kid asked for an autograph, and I saw the roll of the eyes. I then asked him the roll of the eyes, and if you look at the picture, if I ever send you the picture, you'll kind of see it in his face. He's got that look on his face to say, "Fuck off! I want to get in this blacked out car and go." It's so yeah. I'm not a Harry fan.
What was the context of it? Was it before or after the game? Had we lost, or was there any reason he should say he was peed off?
No, so the game was it was our qualifier. It was our home leg qualifier before we actually qualified for the Conference Cup that we.
So this season was it?
Yeah, this season. Yeah. And then the England game was obviously the 1000th one, and he seemed in a bit of a better mood. But you could just, when people just give off that demeanour of, there's going to be cameras about. I've kind of got to, but when there's, but the contrast between the two, like under the stadium where there's no cameras, a lot of people sit there every time I've met Harry, he's so lovely, and he's don't get me wrong, I respect the opinions that other people who have had. You met him, you've had positive experiences. You know what? Fair play. I'm really happy you have. I haven't. I based my opinion on what I've seen. You know, not on the fact that somebody's told me that, you know, he only visits his gran in the nursing home when it's a PR opportunity, or, you know, he's only at the food bank when he knows that he's going to get the biggest amount of publicity that he can. I don't base it on any of that. I base it on my own personal interactions with the guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, for me, I'm not a Harry Kane fan, and plus I think he should have got sold 2 years ago.
You kind of answered the next question there, Gareth. Most disliked current player. So moving on to most disliked.
Just to speak on that, the one thing I'll say is that the issue, I think, is that a lot of the time we have no real idea as to what these people are actually like, because everything we see is their public facade. You know,
everything with a camera in front of Harry Kane is the consummate professional. You know, always smiling, can't do enough, and I get that. It's great. It's the perfect. He's played his
PR trains.
Well, you know. But for me, my experience of it, away from the cameras, away, because you know that day after final day of White Hart Lane, Sonny signed that, and Wimmer, they were like best mates when they both were Spurs. Yeah. And the stewards were like, come on, let's get on the coach. And they both turned around and went, no, you're all right.
Yeah.
Going down, me, the kids, and, you know, anyone else who was there. You know, Berbatov was the same. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely superb. He had time for everybody. Ginola, time for everybody. You know, Torchfed. You know,
Sonny now is like that. Did you see him? There were pictures of him recently, I think, when he was still injured. But he was in the dugout, sort of watching the game, and afterwards he's turning around and signing.
He appreciates it's like Lucas Moura, such a family man. To be fair, Lucas is one of my favourite players, but he's not. Apart from what he did in Ajax against Ajax, and how much he loves this club. Do you know the biggest reason I love Lucas Moura is because he's such a family man, and I'll tell you why. So my daughter. So what was it? It was the Borough game. When Woodgate and Keane were managing
the FA Cup.
Me and Ash, my mate in the chair, we managed to get down into the blue car park. And we weren't
legally this time.
No.
Still, no. Heaven forbid it should have been legal.
And I can say this because it was our standing joke. But when you've got a cabbage, you can pretty much get anywhere. All right? It was our standing joke. Me and I remember him one day was on the train to Tottenham Hay, and he'd be like, "I don't want to be a cabbage today." I went, "What do you want?" What? He went, "I want to be a Brussels sprout." I went, "Mate, be whatever the fuck you want." You know, he was such he was a brilliant bloke. Such a twisted, fucked up humour. It was such a pleasure to go to Tottenham with. But anyway, so we're down there, and like I say, you got a guy in a wheelchair. Yeah, no one's shit when you've got a guy in a wheelchair, right? Yeah. So, and Lucas Moura came out. Now, while we were still at Wembley, my daughter made a Lucas, can I have your shirt signed? Right, and we were sat opposite the dugout. But prior to the game, he stopped outside of Wembley, and my daughter showed him the sign. He signed the sign and went, yeah, I'll look for you. He didn't come back to my daughter after the game. We were sat opposite the other side of the pitch on Wembley, opposite the dugout. But he didn't come back over. So I ended up talking to him after the Middlesbrough game in the blue car park, and I just so happened to mention that this incident. And I posted it on Twitter and everything. But I mentioned this. And he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I said, "Mate, don't worry about it. It happens. You know, you were subbed off, and you know, it's a long game. And mate, let's be honest. I said we were the other side of the pitch anyway. I didn't expect you to come running all the way back over just to give my 5-year-old because she was 5 at the time. My 5-year-old your shirt." So I was, "What's she 5? Yeah, must have been." So anyway, all of a sudden his brother came to talk to me, and he went, "What's your daughter's name?" I went, "Lily Rose." He went, "What's your address?" And I'm like, "Okay, are you going to send the heavies round because I've asked for a shirt?" Yeah, sorry, you know. So he's like, I said, and I kind of like, just on the off chance something might arrive in the post. I said, because this was around the middle of January we played them. I said, "It's my daughter's birthday on the 18th of February." And he went, okay, no problems. Take care. See you later. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. All the best.
Did he write it down or just remember it?
So for the first, no, he put it in his phone. So for like the first 10 days after the game, I'm on the phone with the wife. Has the postman been? Yeah. And if no. So after about 7-10 days, I gave up. I was just like, you know what? Maybe it was just one of those nice gestures we ain't going to follow through. So anyway, my daughter's birthday. So what do you want to do, sweetheart? I want to go to London. Oh, great. So we went off to London for the day. We had a great time. Got home about 7-8 o'clock at night. And I'd had a text. We'd had the plumber in. And he sent me a text to say, mate, I've locked up and I've left your mail on your sofa. And I walked in, mate, and there was this jiffy bag. Right? There was this jiffy bag. And I went over and picked up them thinking, what the fuck's this? All the presents from family have already arrived for a birthday, they can't. I turned it over and it said L. Moura and an address.
No way.
And I was like, Lily! Hold that! Rush, babe, help her. But wait till I've got my phone. Opened it up. It's one of his match-worn Tottenham shirts, right? That he's washed at home, right? You could smell the house on it. It was really weird. When smell lush, don't you? It's like it takes you to like warm summer's day, and you can just imagine him stroking your hair while your head's in his lap. One of those moments. And anyway, so she's opening the shirt. It's like, is that one of Lucas Moura's, mate? She's like, my daughter's never speechless. Never speechless. She's a gobshite little cow, right? But she's got an answer for everything. She's like me, right? And to Lily Rose surname. God bless you. Happy birthday. God bless you, Lucas Moura.
Brilliant.
Is it up there behind you now?
No. So her shirt, it's still. So we've still been doing like loads of decorating where her shirt is still in the process of being framed up because I'm trying to find the right kind of the right frame because it's because it's a match-worn shirt. He signed it on the front rather than the back.
Yeah.
Which is my only gripe. So I'm trying to find somebody who can maybe kind of do a reversible perspex frame so that she can have it either way. So I might just have to bite the bullet and give up the ghost. But we've also been decorating her bedroom, so once it's all finally done and dusted, it'll get framed, it'll get put up on a wall. She loves it to bits. And so he's probably up there actually. When you go back to my favourite current player, he's probably up there with Hugo for that reason. And the amount of shirts he gives away to fans in the stands, and it's always the kids, and I love it. You've got Desperate Dan, 39, still lives at home with his mum with his single bed and his copy of Fiesta under the mattress. No, Nick's fine, mate. He's now got a cellmate that gets touched up in a regular. But it's always the kids. He's so family orientated. He's an absolute pleasure. A real gentleman, an absolute sweetheart. He's a midget, but he's an absolute fucking sweetheart.
He also when he scored that hat trick, he afterwards, remember, he got his little boy on the pitch, and we all stayed behind and we were watching his little boy kick it into the net, and everyone was cheering, weren't they, when he scored the goal and stuff, and that was a really nice moment to share with him as well. He really does.
Lucas Moura and what he did was just absolutely superb. But going back to playing, what was the question? Player I hate. Oh
yeah, most
done. Yeah.
Then most disliked. Go on, Nick.
Sorry, LJ. I was going to just to clarify. You don't like? Do you like Harry Kane? As Cody's asked.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
Okay, so do you like Harry Kane? Fuck no, hell no, no, and fuck no, some more. Yeah. He'll score and I'll cheer. He wears the shirt, but do you know what I mean? But to be fair, heaven forbid someone came back to football, put on the shirt again because they're wearing the shirt. I'll cheer for them. Do you know what I mean? I know he's a bit old now, but as long as you wear the shirt, I'll cheer for you on the pitch. But
Next question. Most disliked opposition player, past and
Jack
present.
fucking Wilshere.
Yeah. Need go into any more.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
Bastard.
I don't need to say anything more.
If you could go back in time and experience one famous game from the whole of Spurs history, which one would it be?
That's it'd probably be 84. I was only 2 at the time, but it'd probably be the UEFA Cup win in 84, just to experience what it's like to win a European trophy rather than sit there and be dismayed at horrible fucking decisions and lacklustre performance.
And at home as well. I don't know it will ever happen again, no doubt.
Well, at least we've seen
at home, to see it at home,
yeah, at least we've experienced a Champions League final in our lifetime.
Yeah.
That's it. You got to try and take a positive. I mean, It's just Pochettino was a cunt for playing Kane rather than Moura, who was on a high, bringing Kane on as an impact sub. And also Mane, the cheating bastard who looked up, saw the arm, and thought, "Well, I'm not passing the nobody. Let's see if this new rule works."
Clipped it up into the arm, didn't he? You could see him do it.
Let's just see if this rule works. Let's just try it. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? There's gamesmanship. They're sort of trying to get an advantage by playing the game, and then there's just being an absolute shit.
Be interesting to find out, Rez, if it was deliberate. Whoever
I'm sure it was.
So they noticed that he ran like that, and they might have targeted it. You never know.
But that's it. But to be fair, put your pants for a pinch of shit. Then any player you see with their arm up in the box, just kick the ball off it, see what happens.
Yeah. But you know what? Even then, the decision by the officials. Yeah, I saw this clip, where they didn't even know what they were doing with that, but you can't argue that was deliberate. He was pointing, and then the ball was
telling Uriah to cover over.
Yeah.
Accidental
used to come into the context of it, didn't it? Accidental handball, you'd have got away with that in the old days.
If he'd kicked the ball and Sissoko had stuck his arm out, then you could even make an argument. But he was pointing, and then the ball was kicked. That is accidental. What do you want him to do? Disappear his arm?
Yeah, it's not good, was it?
To be fair, he should have disappeared his arm up Mane's arse after that fucking call was given.
I would have.
Yeah, pulled his fucking teeth out through his arse.
Yeah. Fuck's sake. It's just terrible. Yeah. I mean, you're screwing over a fellow professional.
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll talk about that later because I've got to talk about Wayne Rooney. So, which player got you the most excited when you first heard the news of their signing? Can you remember? You thought, "Fuck me, here we go." When you heard that they'd signed,
I've got 2. Van der Vaart, hands down. Van der Vaart, what he did while he was there just was amazing. Amazing player. Hoff, we signed him from.
Van der Vaart was Real Madrid, wasn't he? Yeah, from Real Madrid.
Yeah, but what's his Dutch? What was the Dutch team he was at?
Oh, before Real Madrid.
Yeah, before Madrid.
Ajax, wasn't he? He was Ajax and someone else.
Google is our friend.
Google Gaguma.
I just Google. But yeah, no, Van der Vaart. I just loved what he did for Spurs again. He 2 years and he became a cult hero. He still loves the club even now. I love it.
Like we said earlier, another guy who, Darren Anderson. I remember that. Yeah, when we got him because he was out for Portsmouth, wasn't he?
Yeah, before Real Madrid, he was actually at Hamburg. Before that,
Hamburg.
They went from Ajax to Hamburg.
Yeah, I said Hoffenheim. I knew it began with a H.
Yeah.
But and then when Gareth Bale returned, I was that excited. I went to Luton Airport.
Really?
Mate, look at my Twitter and look at my pinned post. Look at my pinned post on Twitter. I was. Yeah. Did you see the news when he landed at Luton Airport?
Yeah.
Did you see the guy getting a selfie with him?
So you, was it?
That's his right here.
Yeah.
I think I got the only Gareth Bale selfie on his loan back to Spurs the whole time he was back in.
Yeah, because everything locked down, isn't it?
Everything was locked down. But mate, they stopped in the car and I got a picture with him through the window, and it was all over. It was over Sky Sports. It was the front cover of AS. It went all the way out to Australia on their sports pages. I was getting tweets from people, messages from people, overdid.
Did you have your bright orange trousers on? Did they make it or not?
No, mate. I had the purple training top on, and a bag on my shoulder, and I had a pair of jean shorts on. You know, I looked the part, mate. You know, I didn't
Tease Gareth with a bit of knee, flash a bit of knee at him.
That was it. I thought I'd show him my Tottenham tattoo that I've got on my calf, you know, and let's be honest, everybody's impressed when you've got a cock that hangs below your knee. So,
Did you bring your missus alongside Gareth and slap her ass like Gazza? So
There's Gareth Bale. There's Gazza. Do you know what I mean? Only certain people get away from it.
What was the loudest, best atmosphere you experienced at the Old Lane?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus. To be fair, the best atmosphere and from start to finish is probably the final game at White Hart Lane, the finale. It's the problem you've got with any game that isn't some kind of anniversary or some kind of special event is the minute somebody scores, the crowd go quiet and it becomes a bit, pass the fucking ball, you can.
Last night, for example.
It's the same at the new stadium. You know, apart from the, you know, the I'll call them the Tottenham ultras, you know, who will sing their hearts out all the way through. It's the finale was probably the best atmosphere, and that's because it was a day to celebrate, and every Spurs fan celebrated it. You know, people would spend thousands for a ticket. You know, sat behind the stanchion just so they could say they were there. You know, and the whole lot of it was a party atmosphere, and you could never fault it. But sadly, one of the things with the Tottenham Stadium, old and new, is the minute that Tottenham look like they're getting battered or a goal goes in against us, the crowd seems to just go, oh. And that's it.
Score a goal that happens after the as well.
If it's someone that hasn't got a good song, they're like, what do we do now? Can't sing that song. Did you make it down onto the pitch, Gareth, on the last day?
I was up towards the top end of the North Upper. So actually near gangway 53.
Funnily enough.
But also I wouldn't have got onto the pitch, to be honest. I wouldn't have done it anyway, even with it was just I can understand why it was done. I just didn't agree that it was done.
Was your mate there that you used to go to the games with, the disabled fella? Did he make that game?
No, he didn't. To be fair, me and him only started going to football together from Wembley. And it's basically he was friends with. I met him a couple of times at the Torch, and then he put a post out because I was just posting my pictures up, and then I put a post out. He put a post out saying my PA can't take me to Tottenham. Anybody want to come with me? And I sent him a message. Listen, mate. I said I'm
he's always found that.
Yeah, he just put a post out saying about having his PA, and I was just like, yeah, listen, mate, I'll come with you. And the first response, he's like, that's great. Can we do what you normally do? I went, mate, I'm at the ground like 3 hours before kickoff. Kids were young. I got some peace. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, I'll go down. You know, I'm going down Tottenham. Why is it always like a 12-hour day? Oh, well, you know, looking for players. And you know,
you have trouble parking, you know.
Yeah, it is, mate. Yeah, even though I got the train there. But you know, I'd be sat outside Costa just for that 20 minutes of peace before I saw somebody walk past. You know what I mean? Having me fag, and that's how me and him ended up becoming the Tottenham Stalkers. And people actually knew us as the Tottenham Stalkers. He sat up in like when we was at the new ground. He was sat in block 105, and all you can see is me running around like, you know, player. Or, you know, barriers, you know, fucking whoever's on the telly, you know, carrying it, I'm married. And because we was in 105, next you've got the media lot behind, and then you've got and then sometimes you had the odd player who would sit next to 105, getting ready for like their half-time commitments on the pitch and stuff. You know, Marlon Harewood was superb, you know, but, you know, you'd spot him, he'd get shouted, you know, he'd be all like, he's, you know, look at that, who's that? And I'm like, I've got a fucking clue who that is, but he's talking on the pitch. I'll get his autograph. You know, but yeah, it was. But I'll be honest with you, me and him, we had the pleasure of the one and only time, and I'll be honest with you, me and him were sat there and we were umming and ahhing to go round to the side entrance at Wembley. and we were umming and ahhing whether to go try and catch any of the players, because the week before Pochettino pulled up, saw Ash in his chair, and Ash went and he's like, "Oh, yo, can I get a picture?" And he's like, "Yeah." So Ash went to go round the back of his car to go park up next to his door to get a picture. Pochettino actually was like, no, wait. Got out of his car and came out a picture with the pair of us.
Nice.
So he had to have like a proper picture. But I took 2 pictures, and one of them was Ash putting his hand out to shake it like that. It's just a beautiful pic, and I love it. But yeah, it was. But anyway, so we were umming and ahhing, and I'm glad we didn't move, because that was the game we met Justin Edinburgh, the one and only time we'd ever met. And you know what? It was only 5 minutes, but couldn't speak highly enough of the guy. Just a beautiful, beautiful man. You know, the way he was, the way he carried himself, the way he interacted. Just nothing was too much trouble. We were, you know, and Ash was all, you know, can I get a picture? And it was just, the guy was superb.
He's the most decorated player in our modern era, wasn't he? He got two trophies. The only one that was there for the last 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he's, and say otherwise we'd have missed him. I'd have never have had the opportunity. But I've got this cracking picture of me and Justin Edinburgh, a smile on his face, and it was just, he was just a beautiful man, lovely fella, and it was a privilege. Then obviously, sadly, you know what happened, and that's probably one of my fondest Tottenham memories while I was at Wembley, is just the fact that we got to spend 5 minutes with Justin Edinburgh.
Awesome. Last couple then before we get on to the shit show yesterday.
No, I've really padded this out, haven't I?
No, that's fine. No, we're in no hurry.
I cabbed Edinburgh the night we won the FA Cup. They all went for a party up at the Swallow Hotel in Wolverhampton Abbey, and I got a call. We got a call there about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. I went up to pick them up, and it was Justin Edinburgh and Vinnie Samways, and running back to Loughton way. So. Oh,
nice. Did they carry on drinking, or were they going home?
No. I'll be honest with you. I never used to allow drinking in my car, because you only have to have one spillage, and then you're in trouble if you get pulled over. You know what I mean?
Did they get
£50 toilet?
Oh, they were pretty well gone. They were pretty well gone.
Yeah. POB, Roger. We've got Vinnie Samways and Justin Edinburgh in here. What I mean, Alan, is did they carry on to a
hotel? That was the famous Gazza hotel.
Did they go to a nightclub or anything, or did they go home? That's what I was asking.
No, they went home.
They went home. Bloody hell! Lightweights, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Married,
just won the FA Cup.
Did you have to drop anybody else off en route? Just back on your corner. I'll see you later.
He took him home. He's like, "You boys need to learn some respect. I'm dropping you home to your missus."
Yeah. Alan was the arbiter of morals in those days.
Yeah,
still is, aren't you, Alan?
Yeah, whatever.
If you could have scored one famous goal in Spurs history, which one would it be and why? You get to be in the body.
I've got two. What one would be the third goal that Lucas scored? Just because of just to experience that elation, to be the man that made the impossible possible, and to send Tottenham to a Champions League final. That would be that one, and the other one would be the reason why I became a Spurs fan, Paul Gascoigne's goal against Arsenal, just because it was at the old Wembley, a beautiful stadium that I only ever went to once, but still, it was beautiful to go to, and a very fond memory. But also just to smash one in from 30-35 yards against David Seaman, top bins, and stick it to those dirty, horrible nomad bastards.
I missed that.
You know.
who are currently winning at Wolves.
Oh,
I missed that Gascoigne goal.
What?
At the time, I was actually married on my first marriage, and I was upstairs and I was a bit busy. Anyway, I come downstairs.
What? You dirty old man.
About 2 seconds later,
what he didn't tell you was he went up when the whistle went. He came back down and Vinnie Samways was hugging Gazza.
about a minute later, Gary Lineker.
A minute?
That quick out.
No, I wasn't that quick. But anyway,
you can get pills for that, Al.
And I've gone, yeah, 1-0. And also it's come up on the screen, it's 2-0. I think, I think I might have scored about the same time as Gascoigne.
Jesus Christ, man.
Oh, wow.
Far too much information now. Far too much
The
information.
thing I love,
You're now bringing this stream down, Al.
Yeah.
Does that mean
That's an achievement. That's an
Mate,
achievement.
to be fair,
It is,
I know I
I
weren't feeling
thought they
well
were straight
earlier.
in the barrel having me on, but with your
With your smut, Alan. Yeah. One of the only times I went to the old Wembley twice. I once to see, I think, no, more than twice actually. Once to see Oasis when they played at the old Wembley, and there was an England game. Right? I think it was 1-0 against Colombia, and fucking John Barnes scored a free kick. I fucking hate John Barnes as well. So look, it was my first ever time at Wembley. I didn't really enjoy it because I didn't like John Barnes that much. I used to hate that Liverpool team. They were fucking bastards.
The only football game I ever went to with my granddad, and it was not December 5th, 1995, England Portugal 1-1. Steve Stone scored. And I won a competition in Shoot magazine to be there, carried out the fair play banner at Wembley. We got up in the Wembley Hilton, but my granddad came with me. So the only game we ever went to go and watch, but beautiful time.
I've seen Maradona play at Wembley against, but when England played Argentina in a friendly.
Did you see any of the game though? Or were you shagging your wife in the toilets at the time? Or?
No. I was at I saw Maradona, and you should have the piece of skill he come out with. The ball's coming at him sort of like knee high, and he literally just trapped it in the air. He literally just trapped it as the ball was coming along. Amazing.
We've got the Tottenham Stalker and the Wembley Shagger on the same fucking screen, haven't we? Last question. Your favourite match day pub? Where can the Stalkers come and see you? Yeah, number 8.
Number 8 was where I always used to go. It was I'm not a drinker, but I still like going in, have a Coke, just sort of enjoy the atmosphere, chat with people, and then head off.
The old Bell and Hare. When it was the Bell and Hare, I don't like the number 8 anymore.
It's expensive. Free drinks in the other day was 18 quid, wasn't it, Nick? Something silly like that.
£19.10, I think.
I'm sure Levy owns it, and he's trying to force people inside the stadium.
And I think £9.10 was your Heineken Zero, LJ, I think.
Shocking. That concludes White Hart Memory Lane with Gareth from Emotion No Space Pod. Thank you for your time. No worries. And